Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. I'm finishing up my December daily journal. What is today? It's the 30th, so December is almost over. And I wanted to just maybe start from the beginning and flip through page by page and work in this while I chat with everybody a little bit. I want to show you something really interesting. This actually startled me a little bit. One of the things I've done throughout December is that any order that was placed, I included either a vintage photo or one of these copies of a vintage photo. This was made from a CDV, which is a carte de visite, like visiting card or calling card. It's French, the terminology, carte de visite. And this one is, I think, particularly old. A lot of them that you find are from the late 1800s, but this dress looks Civil War era. It really does. I feel like this is more from the 1860s, and I have collected them and found sets before that were definitely from the 1860s because there was information written on the back. But anyway, getting to my point, this is one of the CDVs that I had scanned and cleaned up, added a little bit of color, and I was printing out a stack of these to go in orders that I'm mailing out. So this one comes off the printer, and then this one comes off the printer, and then, whoa, it looks like a ghost just came off of the printer, and I just sat there looking. I thought, wait, is the cartridge out of ink? Because this is not what that looks like when that happens. And I truly was startled for a few seconds, and I thought there has to be a logical explanation. So I started looking closely, and what had happened was that I had printed on the wrong side of the photograph. Now, it didn't put any ink on the back. My printer did not do that. When I took the image off of the printer, I grabbed them from the bottom and I stacked it. So that's actually the first one that came off. It looks really creepy now where the ink stuck to the back of one of the photographs. I will tell you, there's the one that it stuck to. I went ahead and, even though I sat there thinking, I hope there's not ink sprayed all inside my printer, and do I dare try this again? So I said, I have to try it again. I have to. And you can, I think some of this ink is still kind of wet. It is, look at that. So what happened was that I turned the paper the wrong way and it printed on the wrong side. This one seems to be mostly dry at this point, and maybe I will put something over that to keep that ink from smearing anymore. But isn't that amazing? I've got to do something to preserve that. And what would that be? What should I do? I wonder if hairspray would work. I know we use it sometimes on oil, like oil pastels or whatever, but it might just mess it up because this is a totally different finish. Let's go ahead and start at the beginning of this journal. I am just looking through here. I want to put some of that in. I'm just looking through here for spaces to add some last few items. There's another CDV. I think the pages are getting pretty full. And oh yeah, that's the page. Oh, look at that. I love the way that turned out. So this is some fabric that I glued down. The glue had come through the fabric. I wanted to cover it so that the pages didn't get glued together. And I used this piece of paper that's got acrylic paint on it, knowing that I really didn't care if something stuck to this, but I didn't want these pages stuck together. And it did stick a little bit, and it took some of the paint off of here and put it on the fabric, which I think is really pretty. That would be something that I would be interested in trying again on purpose. That's a really pretty look, actually. I'm going to make myself a note that says try this. I'm really happy with how this turned out. While I did not do every single prompt, formally do every single prompt on Barbara's page, and that's Barbara from 49 Dragonflies. I printed out her prompt list and kind of worked loosely from that throughout the month. While I did not formally do every prompt, I did do a lot of them, and I feel like a lot of the things are, they're techniques I do often anyway, but it was nice to have a fresh list and be watching a channel to get, you know, ideas or to compare, like how I do things versus somebody else. And let me pull that off, and there's the little mitten that we made. And a lot of writing, some real actual junk in here, coffee labels and food labels, fabric, that's from a gift. We do have this space. Let's just keep flipping though for right now. I want to put this on a page that doesn't open. We'll put that right there. I love that. I love the new stencil that I bought from the Dollar Tree, the one that spins and has the feathers. We used that some. And then this is a page that had some entries that are a little bit personal. So I just used some pretty paper that I had done some stenciling with some gold paint on. And looks like that's the end of that entry. That was fun. I need to do that again. Wine label. And just a lot of different colors and staining, and I like the trim there. Oh, I think I've added this since last time. That is some really pretty tissue paper with the cherubs, and I just put some of that down over that page that was highly distressed. That's pretty. And that's part of a magazine page that I glued down, and then the piece that was hanging over, I just folded it to this side and then added the corner of another page that I had been stamping on. Now this, I think I laid that down. I might just leave that the way it is. That's pretty adhered to the page, so that could be like a little flip up, because it's got a label over here. That's from a candle, mulled cider. And what do we have? Another label from some pomegranate beer. The doilies that I glued into there. There's the little envelope from Sandra, and of course the 25th is the big day. That has passed. There's the label we found walking on the Eno. More tissue paper that came from gifts, and stamps from some mail. Love that book page, and that's from the piece of the sweater that I found. More doily. I just added this. That's from a postcard that I thought was really pretty, and I wanted to write a note on the back. I think it's really important. Wear what you love. I know that I talked about it some, probably all the way back to 2018, but definitely in 2019, and maybe some in the first part of this year. I am still working little by little on cleaning out, getting rid of things that don't truly make me happy, and making sure that I only bring in new things that fit in with what makes me happy and what I love. I don't know, life is so short. It's just important, I think, to try to do things to make ourselves happy and comfortable in our own skin. And you know, it's also good to have gratitude. I do have things that were gifted to me or things that I bought on sale that I'm very grateful for. I've always been provided for, and I'm very, very grateful for that. Okay, I love this. For the longest time, I had this page floating around the workshop. It came out of an actual scrapbook, and the pages were falling apart. You can see the layers where this was glued on top of this, and then I cut this out. It was about the life of Winston Churchill. I especially love that image. And I don't know, I've got lost in history. I think this year, if nothing else, it has made me think about the privilege of time and family and gatherings and freedom. You know, this year has been full of lessons regarding those things. And there's a little children's book page with a bunny rabbit. It looks so cold in the picture. I've got some white gesso around the edge. I definitely wanted to put that in. That is my favorite page from one of the Jane Davenport paper pads that I bought. That's one of my favorites. And we used a lot of butter cooking on Thanksgiving and then on Christmas. So I put part of the butter package there. Go confidently in the direction of your dreams, and that's Henry David Thoreau. It's not the whole quotation, but it's part of one of my favorites. If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with a success unexpected in common hours. And I know that's true. I know that's true. Sometimes when we are working towards something we want to do or the person we want to be, it can feel like the tiniest baby steps. But if you keep confidence and keep moving forward, no matter how tiny the step, at some point you will arrive. And I just think that's amazing. I found that quote or noticed that quote first probably 20 years ago when I was looking through a book that had been illustrated by Tasha Tudor, and that was one of the quotes in there. Now let's see. Oh, I do love this. That I might try more of this concept. It might look a little bit messy. I'm sure it looks messy. You probably can't even tell what this is. But I used a stamp pad just to put blocks all over the page and started thinking that it looked an awful lot like a city block. And, you know, while it was wet, I kind of just left it alone and moved ahead. But I thought you could really come back and do something cool with this. You know, you could start adding fences and do it all in black and white. And add windows. You could do 2-story buildings. This one's not exactly level, so anyway, I think you get the picture. And then here, of course, that black ink is so dark. That's alcohol ink that I blew around the page. But I feel like on the right paper, I wonder how that would do with Yupo paper. And maybe different colors of pens. Or maybe put some different color paint in the center of that. It's interesting. So anyway, that's yeah, that's what's going on that page. And I covered up. Every year I try to write a poem or like a New Year's resolution / end of the year. On this one I've got, as 2020 comes to a close, I hold out hope for self-improvement, even in baby steps. I aim to live in the moment and do what I can where I can, and I will most definitely make room for art. So that's kind of my motto going into 2021. And that is the last page. So I know what I want to do with, let's go back if we can find that page that really was still kind of blank. I want to say it was more over this way. Oh, but there was a blank page also. So I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to move this little envelope from Sandra for right now. And I don't know that I want to have it on the other side of that either, in case something goes through the page. So for now, let's take this to the back and put it right here. I want to take one of these, and I want to take this one that faded. It looks like it's continuing to dry. I don't know. I hope so. And the first thing I'm going to do is I want to glue this one down. So I'm just going to go all around the edge. And there's still ink coming off of that. I just hope that it will continue to dry under there. And I might be able, so let's do this. Let's cut a piece of this. To go in between, and let's take that down. Oh, almost pulled off too much. Let's take that right there and put a little bit on the other side. Oh, look, her face smeared. Yeah, we got to get this. Okay, so what am I going to put on that? I don't know what to do to get that to stay. Oh, it's definitely not that. There's got to be something. Okay, so let's do this. I think what it might have to be is, okay, let's pull this off for right now. And that's not even going to stick to that side of things. Let's figure this out. Let's see what Mod Podge does. Here we go. See, it's just going to smear it. It's not, oh, I know. Let me find it. All right, we're going to go with the idea of packaging tape. Oops. Let's see if we can just preserve it all under here, because the ink is just not soaking in. I don't know if it's even going to stick. But you know what? I think the tape will stick to the tape. So if we can sort of stick it to the tape and stick it to the paper. So let's put that under there. Whether it sticks or not, it's giving us something interesting to look at. I think you can see the outline. Whether this sticks or not, it's giving us something to think about for sure. And then here, I am going to, let's see if this works, because I really like to use the masking tape for this part. So let's put this here and see if a piece underneath will stick to that clear tape to make this. And let's also take a little piece. I love this gold and black washi tape. Let's put a little piece of that on there. And the message, I know the message I want for this. I think I want that showing. I don't want anything over it. I don't know if I can write on that tape though. So what we're going to do is take a piece of paper, and let me just tear off a piece of scrap paper from over here. I want the right color. Okay, so here we're going to say, I may or may not be okay. I love this new jar that I found. So, look, it's got Italy on the bottom, and I'm going to try not to put, well, I've already done it. Let me move that to a different one. I really don't want to write all inside the bottom of this, but I found it at a thrift store that I love to visit. It's where they weigh things, and this was just sitting in there, no cracks or chips, and it's perfect. It's got a wide mouth, so it holds a lot of stuff. So looking at this, I may or may not be okay. And then under here we see this. Definitely one of the things that I have found to be true this year is that some days I feel like I'm coping okay, and I can wake up the next day and I'm not okay. It's been hard in so many ways for so many people. You know, my daughter had her first child, and she wanted me with her, but I couldn't be with her because of COVID. Just so many things. Some days I feel not like I can do what I want to, but some days I go out and I do my grocery shopping and my errands and maybe get a coffee. I'm always careful. I know that we all make mistakes and slip up because we're human, but I always put forth the effort to be careful. Some days I get out and do that and I feel okay. I know I did my best, and then other days I don't even want to go out. I'm worried. Some days I feel like it is what it is. You know, being on furlough for months, getting behind on bills, jumping headlong into making my business at home work full time while I'm looking for something that I want to do to supplement. Some days I'm okay with that, and then other days I'm not okay. It's been a struggle. It worries me. I think about the future. I think about my age, and I'm fine. But the point is, you know, this photograph really made me think about a lot. We have one that's perfect, and then one that's just really a curiosity. So that is that journal page, and I think I'll put today's date. And what else did I want to use up before we put this journal to rest? I do love this fabric. Sometimes I just lay pieces of fabric in the journal, you know, when they kind of stick out, almost like a little bookmark. Sometimes though, and you know you can, let me do that with that for now, because I had a couple other pieces I wanted to put in for book tabs. So let me just stick this under the sewing machine. Find the right page. Could be that page. I actually like it on there. We just don't want to get over into that glue with the sewing needle. Alrighty, so here's one. Cut some of that string. I like some strings hanging off. Sometimes I like a lot of strings hanging off, but not always. I love this little image of the flowers. So let's put that in. It's actually really pretty on all of those layers. where that blue came from, but that's okay. We're not going to have a lot of blue. So let's don't go all the way to the edge with this so that it's a little bit loose. Put that there and then go out to the edge on that one. Put that right there. And let's put just a little drop of the black alcohol ink. Look how it runs along the edge. I love that. And I wonder, let's see, those pages stuck together a tiny bit. Hang on. So let's press that down there. Okay, where this stuck together, I don't worry when things do that. You can just go right over it, over those layers with some sort of distress ink. Look at that, that's pretty. It looks really worn under there. And this, where that paper tore, you could leave that there or pull it off. Either way. So I like that. And if you don't want those like bumps and ridges to be so defined, you can go back over it with a wet paintbrush. I love that. So what else did I want to put in here? Anything? Yeah, there's still ink coming off of that. I'll try to figure out what to do with that. That would be cool in a frame. Okay, I'm going to call it quits on this journal, because we all have to get ready to start our January journals and just keep moving forward. That's a wonderful thing. So thank you everybody who kind of followed along here with me, and thank you to Barbara at 49 Dragonflies who had that wonderful list of prompts. And thank you to all of the people who left comments this month. It is truly appreciated. I will be back really soon. Oh, you know, I wanted this to go in. Carry the Mary. So, let me just cut one little section of this cup. It can't be that one because I accidentally cut into the Starbucks thingy. That's better. So while I'm saying my goodbyes, we will just round this edge. Let's try to make this as straight as we can. So thank you so much for being here. I'm probably just gonna stick this in here somewhere as a reminder of my Christmas coffee. I love the peppermint mochas. I know that not everybody loves those, but especially this time of the year, I think they're so good. So let's just use one of our rusty paper clips and put that into place. And now we're done. Now we're done. I will see you soon. Bye for now.